Hi, this is Dan Henk, and welcome to another edition of the Skull Sessions. And today my guest is Aaron Lebold. I got that right?
Yep, that's right.
Holy shit. All right, so what you got going on, man?
Not too much. I just actually got back from a convention like yesterday or the day before, so still settling back in before work tomorrow. Got to start back up at the regular real life stuff. So,
Oh, yeah? What's the real life stuff that you have to do?
I work at like a detox, so it's like 12-hour shifts. It's yeah, very very
Oh, that's
different.
pretty brutal. 12-hour shifts?
Yeah. So I live by myself, so I got to kind of do work as much as I can while I'm home and the states for stuff, right? So it's worth it for me though. Just rather go hard on my days when I'm home. I don't really have much of a life, so you know,
Yeah, my motto is like, I'll rest when I'm dead.
yeah. I work a lot of
And,
too, so I actually write a lot at work. So
well, I own a tattoo shop, and I have like I have my own private room in the back set up with like a drawing table and all that stuff.
yep,
So anything that I do drawing wise, and I do everything from album covers to like clothing artwork to like stuff for magazines and bands and all sorts of stuff. So anything along those lines, I like to do there. It's like
yeah,
I kind of feel like I'm in the shop, I'm at my drawing table, I'm ready to go. You
yeah,
Whereas, and I get a lot more done than if I have like I've had my own like set up here at home, and I just don't get as much done. Too
yeah,
many distractions and stuff like that. But as far as writing, I need absolute isolation and silence. So like I have an iPad, but I brought like a keyboard so I could type in, and I downloaded I use Microsoft Word, so I brought that to the iPad, and I find I do much more writing here at home.
yeah. It's kind of whatever I get used to. Like when I'm at work, I'm kind of like I don't have anything else to do, so I can't distract myself. I'm like, well,
Right.
I do like, well, you know what I mean. And once
Well,
I get,
yeah, I know a lot of people have like other jobs. It's not like every minute of that job is demanding, so they'll write stuff at the work.
yeah,
I'm just saying, for me, I have problems doing that.
yeah, yeah. It's everybody's got their own process, I think.
Everyone, yeah. Well, and their own writing process. That's what I was going to ask you about. What is your writing process?
I pretty much just like start with an idea and I really don't know where it's going to go. Like I'll write the first part of it out and then it just starts taking shape and then I kind of will see it to like a certain point and then it just kind of comes in my I'm just think about it a lot. Then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I know what the next chunk is going to be. Like sometimes I have an idea how a book's going to end when I start it, but sometimes I have no idea. I got a
Okay.
writing right
You,
now.
I guess you're kind of like in between. Like some people, and I didn't even know this until I started doing the podcast, but some people say they're pantsers. They
Yeah.
rip at the seat of their pants.
Yeah.
Whereas me, like the people that I looked up to were like Alan Moore was a really good writer, and what he would do is he would write an extensive outline and plot everything out before he actually started.
Yeah.
And so I do that. I feel more comfortable. Like I merely take a whole bunch of notes, and I kind of know the beginning and the end. I leave it just up enough I can change it as I go along, but I have notes to remind me of where I want to go.
Yeah. I don't do that at all. I've never written an outline in my life. Yeah.
All right, so what do you have out right now?
I got 8 books out right now. I got 3 novellas with Shadow House, or sorry, two. One's coming out though in March. Um, I have 4 with Gloomhouse. I have one with D&T, and how many is that? And then one with Broken Brain. So I'm hoping to have 4 drop this year as well, but
Oh wow, yeah.
not sure of release dates yet or anything, except for the one is
How
March.
long does it take you to write a book?
A novel is usually about 3 months.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty fast. So,
Mhm.
what do you consider a novel like page
Oh,
wise?
I don't know about pages, but word count like over 50.
Right. Well, the reason why I ask, I mean, obviously that is by like line spacing and margins and all that stuff. But I remember I went to Scarce It Cares, and I was talking to an editor there, and she was like, you know, I don't know. We were in some general conversation. I said, "Yeah, I have an editor. He does a great job, but he's pretty expensive." And she's like, "Oh, well, I only charge it. I think it was like 200 or 250." It was pretty cheap. It was a lot cheaper than what I was paying. So I was like, well, my book's about 300 pages. She's like, oh, wow. Like, to me, because I'm old, that's a normal book size. But apparently, book sizes have shrunk over time. So a lot of what people consider a book are more like 190 pages.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the formatting, right? Like the word font and all that stuff. So, like, how many pages it is in Microsoft Word, it's not going to be that when you format it and put it up on an ebook or, you know what I mean? So, I don't
No,
really.
I understand, but like normally I have like 94,000 words or something like that, you
Okay.
know, and that evens out to about that much. And a
Okay.
lot of people like nowadays I think anything over like 50,000 is considered a novel.
Yeah. Okay. Now I understand. I get 90. Yeah. 94K is quite a big book. Yeah. But a lot of people really like that, right? I think it's just like, I don't know. I think it's just the way that I roll. It's like the things I want to say and everything else. Like I kind of try to plan it to at least the 50K, and then when it goes over that, like that's cool, right? Like, but I
Right.
don't.
Well, I don't think you should have like a word count like those old school people like Maxwell Grant who wrote The Shadow and like people who wrote stuff for publishers that were paid by word count. They try and like fluff it up and pad it out just so they get the payment for it. You
Yeah,
know, and I know that's not the case anymore. And sometimes you can do it with a lot less words. And I don't know if you read the Stephen King book Thinner.
I
But
know.
they made into I think a movie or a TV show too. But I read a lot of his early stuff, like Carrie and Firestarter and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
then I remember I read that and I was like, all right, I give up on Stephen King. Because like at that point he got very wordy. And he spends like a whole chapter talking about the texture of toilet paper. I was like, all right, I did not need to know that. So that would have benefited from less words, is my
yeah,
point.
yeah. I think it depends on your style and stuff like that. I don't. I try not to put anything in that's not advancing the plot, like
Right.
mindless violence or sex and stuff. I don't really put it in there unless it's like something that is important to what's going on, right?
Yeah, no, it like I definitely like some background and like some build-ups. There's like because if all these incredible things happen to somebody and you have no idea who the fuck they are, you have no connection to them.
Yeah,
But you don't need like there are a lot of people that they'll either spend way too long building up and people get bored, or they just immediately jump into the like boom bang and you're like, I don't really care. This guy got beheaded, but I don't know who he is. I just learned about him like 2 sentences ago.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And I try to, I don't know, I'm still kind of playing around with stuff. It's a lot of fun, right? Like trying different perspectives and like that kind of thing. Like sometimes I'll do first person, usually either first or third. Um,
Right.
Always past tense now. I tried present tense and it just, everything I wrote in present tense, I ended up rewriting in past tense because I
No, I
just,
hear you. Yeah.
yeah,
I tried to stick to past tense all the time and I switch between third person and first person.
yeah,
Um, but when I try to write it in present tense, it's crap. And I
it,
tried to write it in second person, which is also crap.
yeah,
And I've also like there are stories that I'm like, this is best told in first person, but I think third person would make it sell better. So I'll write it in third person, and I'm like, I hate it. So then I'll go back and rewrite it in first person.
yeah. Yeah, I've got one book that has like I think it's got 10 or 11 chapters and each chapter is from the perspective of a different person.
Okay.
Like 1 or 2 days,
So you
but
need to swap around between different first persons.
I think it was third person if I remember, and I just
Oh, okay.
was like, no, was it first person? I don't know. I'm bad when I'm writing a book.
What book was that?
Yeah, Popular. It's called. It's a novella.
Okay, and that's available now, like on Amazon, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It's on Amazon and stuff. It's through Shadow House Press.
Okay, what's the name of it again?
Popular.
Okay, awesome. So is Shadow House Press who you're working with the most these days?
I was like Gloomhouse was my main one, but he just shut down. So now I'm doing Uncomfortably Dark is taking all my work from them. Broken Brain is putting out another one for me this year. He's really cool too. I have
Okay.
the but yeah, I kind of have a few that I'm sort of active with right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what there are they available in paperback, Kindle, hardcover, audio? What do you have?
Not audio. I know Dick has hardcover, but everything else for all of them, yeah. And Shadow House is a UK press, so like that's
Okay.
then yeah. So they're just kind of all offer their own stuff in different ways. Right. I'm not sure yet with Uncomfortably Dark. We haven't really worked a project yet together because I just signed with them. So, but I'm excited to work with them for sure.
Well, I've talked to a number of people and they're like, well, I don't want to pay, for an audio narrator and my voice sucks. But I know there are a lot of companies, like I know there's a guy, the ACX is great. Because what they do is like a royalty share. Like they're like, we'll have somebody narrate your book and then you get a cut and they get a cut. I think it's usually 50-50.
Okay. I
You
had
know,
my short stories done by this thing called Cryopod Tapes, and that was pretty cool because they did all the different effects and like different voices. Like
oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
it was cool to hear my story, and I think like he asked me when he was just starting out, so he did a couple of my work, and it was fun. It was interesting to hear it from like a
So
different.
maybe you went all out on yourself, because you like really was like, I want to test the waters here. I want to impress.
Yeah, and he did a really good job. So like I was happy to be a part of that. Yeah.
And what is that? What's the story of this on audio?
Um, there was a couple of them. It was through Cryopod Press or Cryopod. What stories did he do? He did two of them. One of them was from the Bloodstains anthology that I did about vampires, but it wasn't. Yeah, I'm so bad with like I don't know. I do their stuff and like whenever I'm like writing, like what I'm working on right now is like what's in my head. So it's like once I've
Right,
finished
right.
something, it's like, okay, great, glad that's done. Next, you know what I mean?
You're right.
I don't want to get like stuck into anything where it's like, oh, this is who I. It's like, okay, well, I'm a writer. I'm just gonna keep writing.
No, I understand. And the thing is, like, marketing is no fun. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, you can be like the best writer in the fucking world and nobody sees your shit because they don't know about it.
yeah, and
Like, I
that's what.
remember when I went to art school, and when I was in art school, like, my teacher was saying, who do you look up to? Who do you like a lot? I was like, well, I like Frank Frazetta. He's like one of my favorites. And he's like, well, for every Frazetta, there were 10 people that were better than him. They just never made it.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, but I think that's why I never went the self-publishing route because like
Okay.
I know enough about like publishing just from doing it over the years. Like I could probably do it, but I just prefer to have someone that I trust and that I know what they, you know what I mean? Like they know what they're doing and like they have a
Well,
name too,
I,
right?
I did the opposite of you. I think I started like I was like, if you want, don't do self-publishing. If you want like something official on the bookshelves, you need to go with like a publisher.
Yeah,
And it's actually kind of hard because I like want to include the illustrations. They don't want to let you include the illustrations. Often smaller publishers have their own art team and they don't want to, they don't want any conflict there. But so I found people put it out, but I noticed that I market my own stuff better than they market my stuff. And a lot of them play a lot of like really shady tricks on you. And,
yeah,
and I've had like everything from like I remember like I don't even think they're around anymore. I had, like Anarchy Press. They're good, and the guy who owns it is a cool guy, but he didn't really promote it at all. Like no, like there were like it was ghost line, like I could see the tumbleweeds rolling by. You know,
yeah,
and then I had a Bermuda Press, which then turned into Post Sale Press, and then I'm not I'm not sure, so I'm not throwing out accusations, but I remember I see novel sales and they'd be pretty high, and I'm like, why am I not getting paid for this? Like, oh well, it's overseas sales. Just see in the next statement. And then all of a sudden they took away that it was called Novel Tracker. They took that away. So I can't even see the sales anymore. My sales never increased.
yeah,
I eventually had I wanted my rights back eventually, and I talked to Jeff Strand. He helped me get my rights back. You
yeah,
know, he was like, "Fuck those guys, tell them this." I was like, "No problem," and I got my rights back. It worked.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I've had some bad like I was signed up. I had to sue Damnation Books to get my rights back because they were like so screwing me over and violating the contract. But yeah, so eventually I just started my own publishing company and I put my own stuff out.
yeah. I think a lot of people do that, but you kind of like you have to have a name before you can do that. Like I'm just starting to get more of that. I'm starting to get a bit more traction, I think, but like especially first starting out, there's a million people trying to get out there. So the way I looked at it was like if this publisher, who's a respectable publisher, likes my work enough that they're going to represent it, then that's like hopefully tells people that it's worth checking out, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're also at some reputable presses, so you know that definitely helps because you know if you're like an indie publisher and people don't know who you are, they're like, I have no idea if you're any good. I'm not going to waste my money.
Yeah. And I've had a few bad publishers. I've learned, you know what I mean? I've learned. Yeah.
All right, so why don't we tell everybody what you have out now and like what it roughly each one is?
I have my novellas. Balm of Gilead is like kind of like a story about a biblical balm that heals people, and it sort of goes into a. I don't know. That was a fun one to write. That's with Shadow House. Popular is one I was talking about before about a day in high school from all different people's perspectives, and it's super dark. That's also Shadow House. And then my new one with Shadow House is coming out called Basket Weavers, and it's all kind of like an LSD based. It's not like there's not as much murder and violence as most of my stuff, but I don't know. I'm still happy with it. I like it. So it's less splatter. Like I write horror with extreme elements. So some of my books have more extreme elements and some have less. So it's like I don't really know where I fit. You know what I mean? Like I'm not really splatter or like I don't know. I
Yeah,
just write.
I do like cosmic horror, so like I know a lot of spider authors because I do a lot of illustrations. Like I do all the illustrations for Splatterpunk Zine, for instance, and so I know them. But and I go to the conventions, but like I don't really do that. I do like more like Graham Matheson, kind of like Twilight Zone, cosmic horror.
Oh yeah, I have one of your books. Uh, the End of the World.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just working on a video of the illustrations for that today.
Oh yeah, nice.
But and that one's available in audio actually. And that one's put out by um, Macabre Press, which is they're awesome. I love them, and they set up the audio for me, and they had a couple people like send me like auditions, like they read a little bit, and I was like, I like this guy best, and he did, and like you said, it's a royalty share.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's so hard to stand out when there's a lot of talent in the field that we're in. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
So it's hard to stand out, I think. But I've been finding like doing conventions and stuff and actually getting a personality out there a little bit more also helps. You know what I mean? So
Oh
I
yeah,
got
definitely. I think like I did an anthology and I had a bunch of people in it, and like some of them are pretty big names, but that didn't really help sell it. People kind of have to like you have to push it out there somehow,
yeah
And I was at KillerCon and they have a reading, so I did a reading and then I sold out. Like as soon as I came back to my booth, I sold out. So like, oh, that's it. You got to grab people, but
yeah.
probably everybody like different things work for different people, but I find that readings actually really help.
I'm gonna be doing a panel this year for the first time in Texas.
Oh yeah, what
Yeah,
Killer Connor?
no tack.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that one. When is that?
you're going to it, Texas AuthorCon.
Oh yeah, he had to rename it
Oh,
because Ryan Keene, his business partner, threatened him over the name. Because it was too similar to AuthorCon, which was the one in Williamsburg, and so the Scares and Cares AuthorCon.
yeah.
So he changed the name.
What's the name now?
No, that what you just said. It said Texas Author Con, but it's like I think it's like the Texas Book Writers and something like he didn't do like an extensive name change. He just said enough of a name change that he wouldn't get sued.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah,
but
I'm doing a panel.
oh, so
Mental.
you talked, but you talked Merrill is he doing book readings?
I'm not sure. I've been in the Facebook group, but it's going off all the time, so I can't really always pay attention to what's up because sometimes it's just like 15 dings in a row, and I'm just like doing shit. Or,
I was telling Meryl because I'm gonna be in his new anthology, and I was in the last one. But I was telling him I did KillerCon, that reading really did good for me as far as book sales. He goes, "Oh, I should think about that." So
yeah,
that's why I was like, I maybe he agreed to it, maybe somebody else, set
I,
it up, and he was like, okay, I don't know.
yeah. There's definitely panels. I'm not sure
Oh
what all.
yeah, I'm on I think two panels.
Oh yeah, yeah.
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 What are you on?
Mental health,
Yeah, what?
mental health, like how mental health affects reading and impacts reading and that kind of stuff, or writing.
But
Yeah,
okay, cool. And what day is that?
man, I don't remember.
Well, I'm sure they'll advertise it. I'll put up links to the convention. You should definitely go. Like me and you will both be there. All right. So what else should people look at? Like, do you have like new releases coming up? Do you have like something scheduled?
Yeah, I got a few scheduled, but like the ones that are coming out with the one publisher haven't been announced yet, so I probably can't say those ones. But
Well, you
broken.
could probably say the name of it so we can look forward to it, right?
Well, of them, yeah. Like I'm with Uncomfortably Dark, but like I think all they posted was that they're picking up my back material, so I probably shouldn't say if there's anything new coming
Isn't
out.
that is that Candace Knowles Press?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, she's awesome. I had her on the podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's great, and I'm really looking forward to working with her and the crew from them. And yeah, and I work with
Okay.
Broken Brain Books. That's Eleb Kaplan. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and he's really great too. So yeah, I've got a lot of try to go full out this year, man. Full. Yeah,
Well, I noticed that like doing the convention and stuff like that really helps.
yeah. It does. Even just like a couple connections can make a big difference, right? Like if you connect with someone on a personal level, they're more likely to want to read your work, right? So
Yeah, no, it's true. And actually, most of the people who got gigs, whether they're like drawing gigs or acting gigs or like movie producing or whatever, they're just hanging out with people that are like bigger names. And eventually people are like, oh, this guy's talented, and they recommend him.
yeah,
And like it kind of sucks you're not like real social, but you kind of got to get out there a little bit.
yeah. I can be social when I need to, but I mean, like for the most part, my job is social too, right? So I can, I'm good with it. It just I can't sustain it for very long, but a week,
Right.
yeah, or a few days,
I know the last Authors Convention I did, Joe Lansdale was there, and I love his stuff. He's really nice in person. I wonder if Meryl's going to get him. I'll have to ask Meryl.
yeah,
Meryl's going to be my new anthology, and it'll debut at the convention.
nice.
But so do you have something else coming out, like an anthology, a collection of short stories, or it's just your book?
I was just in an anthology that just dropped, The Clubhouse, and then I've got
Okay, what's the name of that anthology?
it's called The Clubhouse. Meryl's in it.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah, and I've
Is
got
that
one.
one out yet, or is it coming
Yep,
out?
it's out.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. I got one with. I got a couple more. I got one with Broken Brain, I think, and one with Shadow House. I hope so.
Okay, and what are those called? Do you know?
I'm not sure. They're still. I don't know if I should be mentioning because I don't know if they're if they've announced it. But like, yeah, I'm horrible with fucking knowing what's going on in the world around me sometimes. So
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate that you have to do this stuff, but you do. It's like
well,
the more the world goes along, the more you have to push yourself. But then again, the thing is, it's like open to people that aren't like Stephen King level.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just a respect thing for the publishers. If they don't want me to say, I don't want to say it. But like, I don't know. To me, it's like whatever. But I don't want to step on.
Well, the thing is, also the podcast is not coming out tomorrow, so maybe it'll be out by the time the podcast reviews.
That's probably true. Yeah.
All right, so do you have any links you want to throw up? Do you have a website? I know you have a Facebook page.
Yeah. I have a Facebook author page, my personal page, and just like my Amazon and Goodreads and stuff. I don't know. I should have a website. I probably should, but
I think you can make one for free. There are a couple things like WordPress where you can just make it free.
Yeah, I feel like I should do that. I don't know. It's never been a priority for me, but maybe it should be.
Well, I think like at one point I talked to a marketing company, and the problem is, so I gave them money, but then I made them sign all sorts of contracts. Like, if I'm not satisfied, I cut it. So then I got a bunch of good tips, but they didn't do shit. So I was like, all right, give me my money back, but I have all these great tips.
Yeah,
So one thing that they're big on is a website, and they have certain things. Like I'll talk to you after the podcast, and about what they recommended and what I did, and I did know they helped my sales go.
yeah, right on. Yeah, be interested.
Okay, all right, awesome, man. I'll see you in Texas, this summer. Do you have anything else you want to throw out to the world?
No, really, I just appreciate everybody that's checked out my work and people watching the podcast. And yeah, I got a bunch of books out there. Just Google and see what you like, and I don't know. Hopefully, you like it.
And come see us at the two Texas Alticons this summer.
Absolutely, Killicon and whatever the new name is for the other one.
Dallas something something. Oh, they're gone. All right. Thanks, man.
Hey man, thank you.